Greetings everyone, welcome to Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. I hope everyone has a great Memorial Day. Well, I wanted to talk about the top 3 10mm carries in Alaska. As many of you know, 10mm is very popular, not only with hunters and outdoorsmen, but also just hikers in general and fishermen. You take the typical Alaska guy, some of them don't hunt, but pretty much all of them fish, and even a lot of the ladies too, a ton of them. And right now it is very popular for people to carry a 10mm. I have the Glock 20, this is the Gen 5 here, but very popular. And I wanted to talk about what is the top 3 10mm carries, because it has changed a little bit. When I talk about carry, this is what you will typically see in Alaska. This was made popular by guides 12 years ago at least, and it is a chest holster that allows you to be hands-free, not have to reach down to your hip. Hip carry is fine. Sometimes I'll hip carry too, but if you're going through rivers, it's nice, especially fishing. That's one reason why people use these. And also, a lot of times when people are charged by big brown bears, they fall backwards, and it's easier just to grab your chest, grab your sidearm, versus going down there. Ironically, it is very common for people to get charged by bears, fall back, and as they're falling back, blow a giant hole in their foot, because as they fall back, their feet fly up and they're shooting at this bear. And I could see myself doing it. They blow a hole through their foot or blow their toe off. It happens a lot, so it's something you got to think about if you're in that situation. But anyways, I wanted to talk about the top 3 brands, and there's even a couple more below those, because I think it's changing a little bit. I have always said that the Glock 20 is the number 1, and that has been for years and years, has been the top carry for 10mm in Alaska, specifically the Glock 20. I built this whole channel talking about the Glock 20 Gen 4. Now we got the Gen 5, and I have it in my Gen 4 chest holster. It does fit. It's a little tight because the only difference with the body, really, when it comes to holsters, is you have an ambi safety now. And so that ambi safety rubs on the chest holster a little bit. This is a GS chest holster, and I have it for the Glock 20 Gen 4, but it fits my Gen 5, and that's what I have right here in this setup. Now, what's really interesting is I'm kind of listing the FN 510 Tactical as the top 10mm right now. It's my personal favorite. This is just a hair behind it. I love both the Springfield and the Glock 10mm offerings, but I like that one so much that I went to Quick Glock Holsters in Wasilla, and he's making me a setup like this, fitted for a light. I'll be able to put an optic on it if I want, but it's for the FN 510 Tactical 10mm. And so I had a little talk with Jason today when I was there. He was telling me about the business. I started asking him about different 10mm. He liked the FN, and he said he would like to get a mold to start producing ones. He had to do a custom one because he doesn't have the mold for the FN Tactical. They're very expensive. If he were to buy one, he would need to sell like 15 or 20 holsters just to pay for that mold. And so far, he's not getting the request. I'm like one of the first people that requested a holster for the 510 Tactical 10mm. So I asked him, well, what's the top 10mm? What are people buying? And he said, hands down, right now, the most popular 10mm in Alaska is the Springfield XDM 10mm, which does not surprise me, and we'll talk about that. I was kind of blown away because I was thinking it would be the Glock 20. That's been king for years and years, but no, he said right now, hands down, people are ordering holsters, at least his Susitna chest holster, for the XDM 10mm. Number 2, he said, was Glock, and then number 3 was the SIG X10, which surprised me. It's actually very popular up here. And then he said the Smith & Wesson 10mm, he's got a mold for that. But that's what he said. So I was intrigued. So I asked Juan, my FFL. Now, he's not a holster maker. He actually has a gun shop, EDC Alaska. I messaged him today, and I was like, Juan, what's the top 10mm you sell? And his response was very similar, slightly different. For him, Glock is still on top. The Glock 20 is still the top 10mm. He sells second is Springfield, so that's catching up, still very popular. And third was the Sig X10. So right there with Jason's list, only the Glock and Springfield were flipped. Interesting enough, he said 4 was a Rock Island, probably the double stack 10 millimeter 1911 platform, double stack 1911. And then 5, he said Smith tied with FN. So the M&P Smith and the FN 510 Tactical are listed 5. So kind of at the bottom, just like Jason had said. So it's kind of interesting. It sounds like the Glock and Springfield are still very close, but I kind of believe Jason because he said hands down, no question, the XDM is the most popular 10 millimeter right now in Alaska. The reason I believe that is because it's already on its second generation. They torture tested the first generation, or they did the 10,000 round and counting test. It's a rock solid platform, and they offer these deals. Like ever since they had that horrible political thing in Michigan or whatever, they now offer these deals where I always miss it every time I buy one. The first time I got one, I got it, but they offer these deals. Okay, you buy your Springfield, you get the 3 mags, but if you send in, you register with Springfield and, register online your pistol, we are going to send you this soft case and 3 more mags for free. So, they got these ridiculously low price, $550, $600 10 millimeter pistols, and then you're going to get 6 mags and a soft case for it. That's a no-brainer. If I was just starting off on a budget and I had to pick one 10 millimeter out of all the kind of striker fired $600 offerings right now, I'd like the 510, but it's pretty expensive. It's $1,100 almost. I think if it was that time of year where you got the 6 mags with your XDM Elite, the second gen 10 millimeter, I think I'd get that, even over a Glock, even though I prefer Glock. These Springfields have such a nice trigger. You've got a 3.5 pound match trigger, flat face, just incredible. Only thing I don't like about this pistol is this grip safety is horrendous. A lot of people just tape that up. I find it annoying, but everything else is solid about this. They offer the mags with the different bases. I think this is a 16 round mag, so you've already kind of beat Glock there. But this trigger, I probably shoot this better than any 10 millimeter just because of this amazing flat-faced, it's just a precision trigger, the meta trigger. It's incredible. So I'm not surprised. I think Springfield is now, in terms of popularity, taking over Glock. It's at least rivaling, but Jason sells a lot of these chest holsters, and he believes XDM is the top choice right now. I believe it's because of that mag deal, the trigger, and they've been around a while. All these other 10 millimeters are just coming out. The Smith and the Sig, they've been out for a year or so. XDMs have been doing it for a good number of years now. They're on their second generation, and they offer these deals. So Glock, if you're listening, offer us a deal where we register our Glock and you send us 3 more mags, because then you're going to keep up with Springfield, because that is impossible to compete with. Very good pistols, though. Let me know what you think. It's summertime. We're going to be out fishing. I've got some hunts planned. I'll continue to do the 10 millimeter videos, big bore revolvers. So I really appreciate you subscribing. Please become a patron if you can. I have links below. And thanks, guys. Have a great Memorial Day. It's Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10 millimeter. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you almost die every time, guaranteed.